It's a free kick won by the Hoosiers, taken quickly. Oduro has it in the middle, out to Goombali. Goombali on his right foot. Goombali near post, it's in! Bogard lays it off. Alt, right foot blocked. Ball back out to Fedrizzi. Alt again, heavy touch. Nessie, goal! Michael Nessie, the equalizer for the Hoosiers. It was Alt that had that heavy touch that kept the ball alive for Nessie. As Alt driving again on his left foot. Alt back across the 6 and Alt scores! A quick fire second for the Hoosiers. Palmer Alt puts Indiana on top in the 57th minute. Again, a Green Bay team, Nick, that's not going to sit back. They're going to play balls into the box as that's a headed effort, and it's in! Chris Album gets the scoring started early. A shocker here in Bloomington. It's Green Bay 1, Indiana 0, just under 2 minutes into the contest. Again, if you're just joining us, Indiana falling behind in just the second minute of this ball game. It was Noah Schelt that played a ball in from the right side, just a hair outside of the box for Green Bay, and he found the head of the Phoenix's returning leading goal scorer, Chris Album, who got the scoring started in just the second minute of this one. Indiana has been playing from behind pretty much from the opening kickoff. Of course, Indiana has been denied twice by the post, and Indiana also no stranger to playing from behind this season. But a little bit of a different atmosphere, I would say, in this one, Nick. Obviously, 6,000 plus against Clemson to open the year. Another really strong crowd, against San Francisco over the weekend. Still a good turnout tonight at Bill Armstrong Stadium, but not necessarily the same type of atmosphere as we saw in those first two games.
There's a chance for Oduro, see if he can re-energize this place a little bit. It's been very quiet for most of this first half.
Fedrizzi, that ball out to Barger just outside of the reach of the Indiana junior left back. So another goal kick upcoming for Green Bay.
And again, you know, we're situated on top of the press box, so we cannot see the fans who are below us. But if you were to compare the student section for this game to the Clemson game, now I know that's kind of comparing apples to oranges because one was during welcome week against a top 10 team, and here it's Green Bay during week 1, where a lot of people are still getting adjusted. But that Clemson match, Todd Yeagley said it felt like the Big Ten championship or an Elite 8 game. And definitely the student section playing less of a factor tonight than it did just 7 days ago against Clemson.
That crowd against Clemson, the largest home crowd since 2013, just to put it into perspective. Bogard dropping back deep into midfield, laying it off to Wagner. Now back to Akun. See if Easton Bogard, he's gotten on the ball once or twice since replacing Colton Swan a couple of moments ago. Here's Alt, lays it off. Oduro dancing around a couple of defenders. He goes down yet again, and it's going to be Kazuki Okazaki ruled for the foul.
Looks like Oduro got hit up high there. It was a stray arm, maybe an elbow. But
I think Oduro has been on the ground more often than he's been on his 2 feet, and that's not really to any fault of his own.
He's been very involved for sure. Creating, if nothing else, creating set-piece opportunities for Indiana, maybe putting his body on the line a little bit.
He's been creative for Indiana this year. 2 assists for the junior out of Ghana. As it's Fedrizzi standing over it, the reigning Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week. We'll play this one in back post. Bogard up in the air and right into the awaiting hands of Oosterbeek. Another goal-scoring opportunity for Indiana. Another tame shot that's easily saved by Oosterbeek.
Indiana not able to get much on those headers, and Oosterbeek positioned very well right in front of the attacking player. There's really just not a whole lot you can do if you're Indiana in that situation. Oosterbeek already having to make 5 saves in the first half of this one. That matches his total from Monday against against Northern Illinois, another directional Illinois school.
5 saves, Nick, for Oosterbeek, but I'd go to say that none of them have been too difficult. Obviously, he has been beaten. He was saved by the post a couple of times earlier in this first half, but he hasn't really been forced into any save that I would classify as a high degree of difficulty. Akum clearing. Kinsella. Barger muscled off of it by Bjornskov, but he's going to be whistled for a push in the back.
And I'm curious to see, it feels like one of those situations where Indiana has a goal coming, and it's a matter of when, and time far from being a factor in this match. You've got 51 minutes and change, but if you're Indiana, you've got to make sure that you're still creating quality looks, not just haphazardly throwing shots on goal from outside the box, which we have seen a couple of times in this first half.
Fedrizzi, middle of the field, goes to ground. He was fouled. Nicholson picks up that foul. Back underway quickly. Kinsella bashes that one off the head of Murray Powell, and it ricochets across the inline. Another corner kick upcoming. Nick, what does Indiana need to change here from a strategic standpoint? Because the corner kicks, there's been a lot of them, but none of them have been too dangerous.
This is already corner number 6. I think if you're Indiana, you've got to get a little more creative. Maybe try to get the ball out in space a little bit more. And I know I just talked about haphazardly throwing balls on net. We'll see what they come up with here.
Back post, Fedrizzi looking for all that ricochets towards that near post, and Oosterbeek is on top of it. I believe Wagner went to ground as well, trying to just get any slight sort of deflection. But Oosterbeek is the one that came up with it. I believe it's a free kick. I believe a whistle and a foul was called on Wagner for going to ground there inside that 6-yard box. So a free kick here inside of his own 6 for Oosterbeek. If that goes down as a save, it'll be number 6.
I think they got Wagner for the foul before the shot. So again, another fruitless set-piece opportunity there for Indiana. And Todd Yeagley has talked about it in the past, how Indiana needs to, as there's a foul on Brecken Minzy, getting a little too physical. But he's talked about set-piece opportunities as a focal point in the past for Indiana, because you've got control of how the play starts, and you can dictate it however you want. We'll see if Green Bay can capitalize on the other side here. But Indiana just hasn't really had a lot to show for those set pieces so far.
Indiana feels like they've been a little bit more dangerous when it's been Oduro on the ball rather than trying to play direct with crosses into the box. That can't be said for Green Bay, who scored their only goal and their first goal of the season on a ball into the box. A cross from the far side wing, as that one looked like it hit a hand of a Phoenix inside that 18-yard box. So a free kick upcoming for Indiana. Their time is running out to try and find an equalizer in this first half. Just about 4 minutes to play in the first 45.
It did seem like also earlier on, Indiana's attacking pressure more sustained when Nolan Kinsella was able to get up along the wing, kind of playing that hybrid winger role where he is a wing back on paper, but he will move up and play the ball in the attacking third. And also, Collins Oduro has been by far, I think, the biggest offensive threat for Indiana here tonight. I'd like to see him get another couple looks at goal in the coming minutes.
Nick, Indiana's dominated possession, I would say, but I wouldn't say they've dominated the game. Obviously behind on the scoreline, but they haven't necessarily, the Hoosiers, been able to turn that possession into clear-cut chances. As here's Kinsella, that one will roll out. Another corner kick upcoming for Indiana. They've gone short on one of the corner kicks tonight. The corner kick number 7. We'll see if it presents Indiana an opportunity for an equalizer about 3 minutes out from halftime.
Looks like Fedrizzi thought maybe he was going to take that quickly. But Oosterbeek has been poised in net for every single restart opportunity so far for Indiana. Everybody crowding into the box.
I think I count 20 players inside the 6-yard box, but it's Oosterbeek that got a firm right hand punch to that one. That's Alt driving the inline, right-footed cross in to the 6-yard box, but Oosterbeek once again is able to meet the challenge.
Oosterbeek rising above the crowd there, 6 foot tall for the Danish netminder, and really the only one who can contend with him height-wise would be Nolan Kinsella. Kinsella standing 6'3", but Oosterbeek doing a really good job there again, taking charge. And Indiana now over double-digit shot attempts in this first half, but still nothing to show for it.
Of course, Indiana playing without their more target man, their more possession-based striker. Colton Swan standing 6'2". He was replaced earlier in this first half by Easton Bogard, who's 5'9". So you do have to play a little bit differently with the height of Easton Bogard compared to that of Colton Swan. Can play a little bit more direct with Swan in there, but Bogard looking to get on the end of that one. It falls to Fedrizzi at the penalty spot. Fedrizzi save! Oosterbeek again denies the Hoosiers. And Indiana has another corner kick upcoming. That probably, Nick, outside of the shots that have hit the post, the best opportunity for Indiana in this one.
Great job by Oosterbeek, not just of getting the right arm up to that one, but also preventing any opportunity of a rebound in a second chance, because that's really where goalkeepers tend to get burned. You know, he's got to quickly recompose himself for this corner.
Fedrizzi plays it in, top of the 6, headed away. Philip Oosterbeek keeps out the Big Ten's leading scorer so far in the early stages of the season. Fedrizzi with 3 of them on the year, including 2 last time out against San Francisco as we tick under 60 seconds to play here in the first half. Indiana, one last gasp at an equalizer here in the first half. Kinsella to play a long throw in, Akum. Left foot. Bogard goes to ground at the penalty spot. No foul, says the head referee, as Oosterbeek comes out to scoop it up.
And now if you're Philip Oosterbeek in this Green Bay back line, I think you're content with just running this clock down to 0. I can't imagine you're going to try any Hail Mary opportunity here, but I've been wrong before. But all in all, a very good defensive first half for Green Bay after that second-minute header from Chris Albom, the lone goal in this one so far.
And when we talked to O'Reilly, Coach O'Reilly, Nick, he said that they weren't going to sit back in a low defensive line and play defensively. But now with the 1-0 lead, maybe in the second half, you start to see a little bit of a lower defensive line, maybe a little bit more passive for Green Bay. As we had 0-0s here in the first half, it's Green Bay 1 and Indiana 0. Do you think we see perhaps a change tactically for Green Bay in the second half now that they have this advantage?
I would absolutely expect an adjustment in that respect in the final 45 minutes of this one. All told, a very good first half for Green Bay and head coach John O'Reilly. I'd imagine his halftime adjustments would be something in the neighborhood of trying to prevent Indiana from attempting 8 corner kicks in a half. But also, if you're Indiana, you've got to capitalize more on these restart opportunities. You've had plenty of them, 6 shots on goal, but all of them stopped by, I would say, the star of the first half in Philip Oosterbeek, the 22-year-old redshirt freshman, proving very poised in net so far in this one, in, I would argue, Green Bay's biggest match of the non-conference slate by far, trying to play spoiler and doing a good job so far.
Well, 45 minutes down here in Bloomington. It's Green Bay 1, Indiana 0 after the first 45 minutes of play. Back for the second half in just a couple of moments on Big Ten Plus.